Commissioner Gordon, Bane has escaped.
The body keeps score of everything you finish. When you push through resistance and see something through, your biology rewards you. Cortisol, the stress hormone, drops as dopamine rises. The chemical balance shifts from tension to triumph. That is nature's way of saying, well done. You train the nervous system to associate reward with completion instead of comfort. Every time you stop early, that system reverses. The mind learns to chase relief instead of reward. The cycle of avoidance is not psychological, it is chemical. You can only rewire it by finishing what you start, even when it burns. The longer you stay in motion under discomfort, the greater the dopamine surge when it ends. You build a body that craves effort instead of escape. Most people quit not because they are tired, but because their body never learned to love the aftermath of exhaustion. They have trained their reward system to release dopamine at the moment of quitting, when they finally rest, scroll, or walk away. But the brain does not judge morality, it follows patterns. It will crave whatever you repeatedly link to pleasure. If you finish your work and reward yourself with satisfaction, the system adapts. If you abandon your effort and indulge distraction, it adapts to that too. That's why consistency feels unnatural at first. You are unlearning avoidance on a chemical level. Finishing is not just a skill, it's a neurological upgrade. Effort creates internal friction. The stress you feel when you start something difficult is cortisol doing its job, preparing your body for action. But if you keep going long enough, another switch flips. Once the task is complete, dopamine floods in, releasing calm and fulfillment. This is the biochemical handshake between stress and reward. You earn serenity through struggle. The brain learns that discomfort is not danger, it's the path to pleasure. Over time, this pattern rewires motivation itself. You no longer crave escape, you crave execution. Finishing becomes your fix. That is how discipline transforms from effort into instinct. The truth about pressure is that it changes chemistry. The moment you lean into effort, the body enters survival mode. The heart rate climbs, muscles tighten, thoughts sharpen. You can either interpret that as anxiety or as activation. Those who learn to work through it discover something miraculous. The body begins to associate tension with performance. And the moment the task ends, relief is magnified by pride. This loop is nature's training protocol for achievement. It's not about suppressing stress, it's about transmuting it. You can't eliminate pressure, but you can condition your nervous system to find peace inside it. That's how confidence is built, not through fantasy, but through repetition of endurance. Completion rewires self-belief faster than any mantra. You can talk about discipline for a lifetime, but one act of finishing under pressure changes your biochemistry forever. Each time you complete a task while your mind screams for relief, your brain records a victory. It takes that memory and builds new neural links, proof that effort leads to satisfaction. It starts rewarding you for consistency rather than comfort. That is why those who stay in the fire long enough feel addicted to the grind. Their pleasure is no longer external. It's internal, self-generated, earned through friction. They've built a nervous system that smiles under strain. Avoidance, on the other hand, traps you in a false loop of pleasure. When you stop mid-effort, cortisol remains high. You escape the work but not the anxiety. The brain never gets closure, so you seek another distraction, another hit, another temporary relief. That's the trap. You think you've escaped the tension, but it follows you everywhere. The only real release comes from finishing. Completion lowers stress naturally. It resets your chemistry. You sleep better. You breathe easier, you feel grounded. Finishing is not about achievement. It's about peace earned through motion. The human body was designed for cycles of stress and recovery, not constant comfort. Modern life reverses that order. Endless comfort, no completion, and chronic dissatisfaction. The cure is not more rest. It's earned rest. Rest feels divine only when it follows discipline. The body rewards balance, not avoidance. When you push yourself through difficulty and finish, dopamine amplifies recovery. The sleep is deeper, the food tastes better, the mind feels lighter. Your biology is ancient. It celebrates victory, not escape. If you want fulfillment, you must give your body something to celebrate. Every major breakthrough is biochemical before it's visible. Athletes, soldiers, creators, all train the same way. They don't rely on motivation, they rely on chemistry. Their systems crave completion because they've repeated it so often. Their cortisol spikes at the start, but dissolves into dopamine at the finish. That loop becomes addictive. The brain begins to interpret effort as the fastest route to reward. That's why they can sustain pressure when others collapse. They are literally wired for it. They've built pleasure around progress instead of procrastination. Your nervous system is the greatest tool you will ever own. It listens, it adapts, and it remembers. Each time you finish under fire, it learns that discipline equals relief. It starts rewarding you for courage. Every repetition strengthens that association until momentum becomes second nature. The key to long-term confidence is not positive thinking, it's repeated completion. The mind that finishes begins to trust itself, and that trust becomes fuel for the next challenge. Innovation rarely blooms in abundance. It thrives in constraint. When NASA's design teams faced impossible missions with shrinking budgets and limited materials, something extraordinary happened. Their minds sharpened. Ideas began to cut cleaner, faster, deeper. The absence of excess forced clarity. With fewer paths to choose from, precision became the only route forward. That is the paradox of limitation. It narrows your world just enough for genius to appear. Pressure eliminates distraction. It forces you to make the fewest moves count the most. The human mind performs best when options collapse and intention expands. Every constraint becomes a sculptor, shaping your potential into something sharper than comfort ever could. Most people imagine freedom as endless choice, but choice dilutes focus. Too many directions make you hesitate, second-guess, wander. Creativity needs borders to rebel against. Without friction, imagination floats without form. Pressure defines it. The fewer the tools, the stronger the mind must become. You don't design greatness with unlimited resources. You design it when you have no choice but to make something work. The Apollo engineers didn't have luxury. They had deadlines, danger, and the fear of failure. Yet in that environment of scarcity, they created systems that touched the stars. That is what pressure does. It turns necessity into invention. Constraint compresses chaos into clarity. When your options are few, decisions become pure. Every variable that remains carries meaning. There is no space for excess. That kind of environment rewires how you think. It makes you refine instead of add, focus instead of scatter. This is why pressure produces breakthroughs, because you are forced to solve the real problem, not decorate it. You are stripped of comfort, and that exposure pushes you into higher cognitive performance. Creativity is not born in luxury. It's born in the corner under deadlines, with nothing left but determination and nerve. Abundance seduces you into waste. When you have too much time, you procrastinate. When you have too many tools, you lose craftsmanship. When you have too many options, you stop committing. That's the irony of modern life. People have more possibilities than ever, yet they create less of consequence. NASA didn't build greatness by adding more parts. They built it by stripping away everything unnecessary. The fewer resources they had, the more elegant their designs became. That principle applies to everything: your craft, your business, your character. Simplicity under pressure breeds brilliance. When resources shrink, attention expands. Every detail matters. Every decision carries weight. There is no room for lazy thought or careless execution. That is the soil where mastery grows. The more limits you accept, the more creative you must become. True innovators don't ask for more. They ask how to do more with less. That mindset transforms pressure into precision. It's what separates amateurs from architects. When you only have one shot, you stop guessing. You plan, you adapt, you execute. Constraint breeds quality because it demands presence. You can't afford to drift when the margin for error is gone. Pressure teaches efficiency. It forces you to abandon vanity and focus on what works. Every action becomes intentional. Every movement matters. It's like working with a single brush stroke. One mistake ruins everything. That level of concentration creates artistry. NASA's best minds learned to think like that. They didn't innovate because they were comfortable. They innovated because failure had real consequences. You grow sharper when comfort disappears. Every boundary you hit becomes a blade that carves discipline into you. Too many options dull that edge. You need fewer choices and more conviction. The truth about limits is that they reveal who you really are. When you can no longer buy time, outsource effort, or delay action, your raw capability surfaces. Pressure has no patience for excuses. It demands results. And in that demand, it awakens a deeper intelligence, the kind that thrives on simplicity and speed. When NASA engineers were told failure is not an option, it wasn't just a slogan. It was a command that birthed miracles. The tighter the constraint, the louder human potential roars. It is not suffering, it's sharpening. Every great mind was forged through some form of limit. You cannot access your best ideas when you are too comfortable. Comfort scatters attention. It fills your life with noise disguised as opportunity. You think abundance equals creativity, but it breeds mediocrity. The brain thrives on challenge. It needs urgency to reach flow. Pressure provides that trigger. It forces the prefrontal cortex to filter distractions and channel energy into precision. That's why deadlines, scarcity, and risk often produce brilliance. They activate the part of you that survival built to perform. Pressure is not the enemy of creativity, it is its ignition. Scarcity teaches priorities. It forces you to decide what truly matters and eliminate everything else. In doing so, you discover what you were capable of all along. When NASA lost resources, they gained ingenuity. When life limits you, it does the same. The question is not how to escape constraint, but how to use it. Every limitation is a silent teacher. It strips you of waste, of noise, of vanity, until only purpose remains. That's where breakthroughs happen, not in the ease of abundance, but in the discipline of necessity. The human body was built to endure stress, but only in the right measure. The same tension that can break your mind or body in chaos can build it in calibration. The difference lies in control. When you expose yourself to manageable discomfort, the weight that burns but doesn't tear, the fast that empties but doesn't starve, the deadline that pushes but doesn't paralyze, you transform stress into stimulus. This is how growth has always worked. Evolution uses strain as its sculptor. The muscle grows by tearing slightly, the mind sharpens by wrestling with friction. The soul deepens by enduring challenge. Without resistance, there is no adaptation. Without pressure, there is no progress. What people call struggle is often just biology asking for expansion. When you dose pressure like medicine, it heals. When you avoid it, stagnation spreads like disease. Modern life has made comfort the default and discomfort the enemy. That inversion has weakened not just bodies, but spirits. The ancestors who carried water for miles and fought weather with bare hands had resilience written into their DNA. They didn't overanalyze adversity, they metabolized it. Now people flee from the same conditions that once made humans unstoppable. Controlled stress is the forgotten cure. Every time you choose a challenge instead of escaping it, you activate ancient systems meant to keep you alive, creative, and resilient. The body remembers how to rise under demand. The mind follows. You don't need new philosophies. You need exposure. When pressure is chosen, it heals. When it's avoided, it hunts you. That is the paradox. The gym, the ice bath, the fast, they are small simulations of war that teach your biology peace. They remind your nervous system that it can handle far more than your thoughts suggest. Controlled adversity trains confidence at a cellular level. Each time you face discomfort intentionally, the brain learns safety inside stress. It stops panicking under tension. It adapts. This is the true value of discipline, not punishment, but preparation. You cannot fear what you've practiced surviving. Stress becomes poison only when it controls you. When you set the conditions, you transform it into power. This is why elite performers train under tension. They don't wait for chaos to test them. They create it in smaller, safer forms until their system thrives under demand. Pressure is not meant to be avoided, it's meant to be managed. The dose makes the difference. Too little, and you decay from inactivity. Too much, and you collapse from overload. Just enough, and you build a body that bends but doesn't break. The key is precision, measured struggle, followed by measured recovery. Every stressor carries information. The weight that feels impossible teaches you your limits. The fast that empties your stomach reveals your mental noise. The deadline that corners you shows how focus can turn panic into performance. These are not punishments. They are diagnostic tools. They show you where your weakness hides, not to humiliate, but to highlight. Controlled adversity reveals the gaps that comfort conceals. Once you know them, you can fortify them. That is how humans evolve, not through avoidance, but through confrontation. The goal is not to eliminate stress, but to optimize its use. Fasting teaches that hunger won't kill you. Training teaches that fatigue is feedback, not failure. Cold exposure teaches that pain can coexist with calm. These lessons stack into resilience. Every practice of deliberate discomfort trains the nervous system to stay composed under pressure. That composure spills into life. Deadlines no longer terrify you. Conflict no longer shakes you. The system has learned the language of strain. It recognizes the rhythm of effort. What others see as chaos, you interpret as challenge. That shift changes everything. The world no longer feels hostile, only demanding. Controlled pressure trains more than endurance, it builds meaning. When you willingly step into difficulty, you reclaim authorship of your struggle. Life will always deliver pain, but when you choose its form, you transform helplessness into power. The gym becomes a metaphor. The ice bath becomes a ritual. The fast becomes a reminder that you are not enslaved by impulse. You are not at the mercy of the world's pace. You are crafting your own. Adversity loses its ability to intimidate you because you have domesticated it. You've turned chaos into curriculum. Stress hormones, when managed, sharpen your awareness. Cortisol, adrenaline, and dopamine were designed to help you perform, not destroy you. Modern comfort floods you with passive stress, notifications, noise, and unearned urgency. Controlled adversity replaces that with intentional strain that leads somewhere. When you lift, run, or fast, those same chemicals serve you instead of drain you. You become the architect of your chemistry. Pressure stops being punishment and becomes propulsion. That's why discipline feels peaceful once mastered. It aligns biology with purpose. The greatest creators, leaders, and thinkers all lived under chosen strain. They didn't wait for chaos to forge them. They invited it. They built systems around it. Deadlines for the mind, training for the body, silence for the soul. They understood that resilience is not something you are born with. It's something you practice. Stress is the tool, not the villain. Comfort breeds fragility. Challenge breeds composure. When you view pressure through that lens, it becomes medicine, bitter at first, but healing with every dose. Pressure does not visit the indifferent. It seeks out those standing at the edge of expansion. Only those with potential feel weight, because pressure is a signal, not a curse. It does not knock on every door. It chooses those capable of carrying more than comfort allows. When you feel the world pressing against your chest, understand that it's not punishment. It's permission. You are being tested not to suffer but to stretch. The heavier the burden, the greater the capacity being built beneath it. The universe does not waste difficulty on those who won't transform from it. Pressure is the measure of possibility. The more you can endure without folding, the more you've proven yourself to the laws that govern evolution. Strain is the tuition for greatness. If it found you, it's because you are capable of carrying something monumental. Those who drift through life without ever feeling pressure have never been chosen for responsibility. They live in the soft shell of mediocrity, where nothing asks for more than convenience. Pressure only arrives when your potential exceeds your comfort zone. It's the universe's way of calling your bluff, of asking, "Are you what you say you are?" Every moment of strain is a silent audition. The ones who collapse under it get recycled back into the crowd. The ones who rise become rare. The pain you feel right now is the price of qualification. The discomfort is the shaping of your next identity. You are not being buried. You are being built. Pressure is a universal filter. It separates the talkers from the doers, the dreamers from the disciplined. Everyone claims they want power until life hands them the weight that comes with it. That's where the separation happens. Pressure asks for silence, focus, and endurance. It removes the privilege of excuses. You either adapt or retreat. Those who adapt ascend. That's the algorithm written into the fabric of nature. The strong oak grows because it learned to bend with the wind, not avoid it. Pressure doesn't discriminate. It simply observes who can handle friction without breaking integrity. Those who do become forces of nature themselves. You have to understand that strain is a complement. The universe does not invest challenge into empty vessels. It only pours weight into those who can carry it with grace. Every burden you face is a vote of confidence from life itself. It's saying, "You are ready for more." The average person runs from difficulty because they misinterpret pressure as proof of inadequacy. In truth, it's the opposite. Pressure is proof of potential. The presence of tension means you're expanding the boundaries of what you thought was possible. Every great transformation begins with that tightening, the stretch before the release. The mind resists weight because it associates discomfort with danger. But the deeper truth is that pressure keeps you alive. It activates systems within you that stay dormant in ease. Adrenaline sharpens focus. Cortisol heightens awareness. Every signal you interpret as pain is really the body preparing for performance. You are being upgraded under fire. The process may not feel sacred, but it is. The weight you bear is data, information about what you're capable of handling. Each time you carry it, your threshold expands. What once crushed you now conditions you. If you feel like the world is heavier on you than others, it probably is. But that's not injustice. That's indication. You've been selected for a higher load because your foundation can hold it. Some people are designed to survive, others are designed to shape survival itself. Pressure exposes which one you are. It sharpens your decision-making, purifies your ambition, and burns away distraction. The more you lean into it, the more clarity you gain. It's the purification of potential. The fire you're in now will forge the version of you that others later call unbreakable. There is no greatness without friction. Every empire, every invention, every masterpiece was born under the same conditions: limited resources, impossible odds, relentless strain. Pressure is the price of contribution. To carry influence, you must first carry intensity. Every trial builds muscle in places invisible to the eye. The body strengthens, but the soul refines. Pressure makes you precise. It strips away what's unnecessary until only essence remains. You start to understand that pain is not personal. It's procedural. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is this shaping me for?" The universe never gives you what you want. It gives you what will evolve you. Pressure is the medium through which that evolution happens. It's the crucible of transformation. The same force that could crush you can crown you depending on how you interpret it. Those who collapse under it will call it misfortune. Those who rise through it will call it preparation. Life tests everyone, but advances only those who respond with persistence. You cannot pray for growth and reject the very mechanism that creates it. When you finally accept that pressure is purpose disguised as pain, everything changes. You stop resisting and start refining. You move differently. You speak with weight. You think with depth. The same stress that once drained you begins to fuel you.